In the previous video segment, I have tried to show that we have prepared this necessary code which was worked in the previous YouTube practice sessions that tries to go and display a drop-down list, right, which can show the department information, right, driven from the database table, department table. Okay, right, so these were done in the previous playlist. I'm not going to spend time to discuss these code here. And within this code, you notice that under the if page.isPostBack, notice that this is the starting and this is the ending, right? So this is the segment here. I've already created a very simple command that will create a staff manager. Then the next thing is that I am actually going to use the staff manager getOneStaffData method. Now, before I can actually really fully use this one, I need to go and create a data table variable here. So I will call this either the DT staff, right, if I want to go and follow the naming convention here, or I will sometimes use staff data table, right? So it is either I will call it DT staff or I will just call it as a staff data table. So either way, it is just a name. It's just a naming convention. So let me actually just use staff table here. Okay, right, staff table here, staff data table. Okay, so I've already created a very simple staff data table, and then after that I will use this staff data table to collect the information from the getOneStaffData. Now, based on the previous video segment, this getOneStaffData inside actually has the SQL that will forever just give us Daniel, right? This is the results that will be expected. So this Daniel that you see here will actually sooner or later be stored inside this variable called staff data table. Okay. Now then, what I'm going to do is that so this one is I'm just calling the getOneStaffData. Then what am I going to do? I'm just using the staff data table to hold the results. So what are the results, right? The results is actually this. The result is actually this because the SQL is fixed, right? The SQL is hard coded, is fixed. Now, then I would like to go and create another variable called the data row. Now, what is this data row for? This data row, I will actually just call it as a staff data row. Okay, right. Now, what is this data row for? This data row is a very useful variable, right? I'm just asking this data row, say, hey, data row, staff data row, can you please represent, right? Can you please represent the first row, right? Can you please represent the first row in your data table? Means that I'm asking the staff data row to represent the first row inside, right? Inside the staff data table, right? Means that I'm asking the staff data row to represent, right? Represent or reference, right? Represent the first row inside the data table, which is inside the staff data table. So in other words, what is staff data row? Staff data row is going to be this. Okay, right? So in other words, data table is actually a big one. Data table can actually have many data rows, right? But of course, for this case here, the data table only contains one row because our SQL is going to select just one record, right? So with this staff data row, means that this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask my txtFullName, right? So I want to go and show Daniel. I want to go and show Daniel inside the text box. What is the name of the text box? txtFullName. So I want to go and show Daniel inside. So I'm just putting what? Staff data row, then find the full name, right? Notice that I'm specifying the column name, right? Then after that, let us test. I have placed too much code. How come red line? Because somehow or the other I need to convert to string first. Okay, so I'm just doing a quick conversion, and then after that I'll just rebuild, and we have done a lot, and I hope I can see Daniel here. Notice that this one is actually the ADM update stuff. Okay, right, so I'm just going to refresh. Got it. See, Daniel is shown here. So is it working? Yes, it is working. Or you can actually right click, browse with, maybe I would like to browse with Internet Explorer, just to double check. Notice that I'll be able to see Daniel, right? So it is working. Now what if I change this one to email? Right, what am I going to see? Let us see. Refresh. Refresh. How come like that? Let me go to the IE. Refresh. Wait. Why? Because of course, because I'm doing some changes on the C# code. So please remember to rebuild. Okay. Then after that, I'll just refresh, and I should see Daniel at northwind.com. But of course, the information is shown on the wrong text box, right? It should be shown inside the txt email text box. So the next portion of the code is pretty simple. All I need to do is what? This one, maybe I should change it to txt email, right? And of course, I will just need to go and copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. Now see, I'll just copy, paste, right? Because this one is going to be what? Full name, right? This one is going to be full name. And what about this one? This one is actually going to be the date of birth. And what about this one? This one is going to be the mobile contact, right? The mobile contact text box. Okay. Then after that, of course, this one, what is the column for this one? Let us take a look. The column for this one is mobile contact. So come back to here. This one should be mobile contact. Then what about this one? This one is email. No, it's DOB, right? Let me see. Is it DOB? Yes. Now let's take a look at this one. So this one is actually the full name. Okay. Now, so basically, because the staffDataRow right now is representing this. It's representing this. So right now I'm just copying over all the necessary information. Now what about the one here? See this one here? See this one here? So how am I going to take out this one? Department record ID, right? So I will just what? Let me see. How come this is one? This one is complaining. TXT mobile. Oh, typo. Okay. Now let's take a look. So what about this? Let's say string, right? String. Then after that, what is this? Staff data row. Then after here, then what is this? Let me see. Department record ID, right? Is it department record ID, right? So what does the department record ID do? What does the department record ID do? It will give us 1, right? Okay. So, but of course it's not like that. Okay, can I do something like this, like LSD department, then after that dot text? Cannot. It must be, I'm telling the LSD department, hey, you got many list items inside. All your list items. How many list items are there based on our current context here? 3 list items. All your list items are grouped under items. You know that? Then you got 3 list items. This drop down list. This is the drop down list, right? This is the drop down list. This is the drop down list. Okay. Right now, the drop down list has 3 list items. All these 3 items, all these list items was prepared because our code here. Because our code here will use the information from the department table, right, to generate all those list items out. For example, if this one is actually going to be XYZ, right, this one is going to be XYZ, then I come to here, it should show XYZ, right? No. I've already made some changes, so I should refresh, right? I should refresh. So let me refresh. Does it show XYZ? Right. So it's data driven. But so right now in this context, how many list items are there? 4. So all these list items are grouped under this items array or items collection. So I tell him that this items, like, find, you better find what? Find by value. Right, find by value. Find what by value? This one I'm going to give you this. Right, find by value. So let's just say that this one I just put let's say 1. Do you know what will we give me? After you have found one, then you are actually going to what? Selected equals to true. Do you know what will happen? So right now I'll just save this one, and of course because it's C# code changes, right? So I rebuild. then I come here, then I refresh. Right, you notice that Daniel, date of birth, all are shown incorrectly, but this one is sales and marketing. But if let's say that inside the database, for this Daniel here, right, this Daniel here, from 1 I change to 3. So 3 is what? 3 is research, right? 3 is research, correct or not? 3 is research. So, but unfortunately here, no matter how I refresh, right, it will forever be sales and marketing. Why? Because this is hard-coded with a value of 1. I should take it out from the data row, right? I should take it out from the data row. So how am I going to take out from the data row? Let me just copy this one. Okay, and let me actually just replace this one carefully with this. Right, and let me actually just put department record ID. Right, so let's see whether right now, after doing these changes, will I be able to go and see research shown inside the drop down list. Okay, so I'll just refresh. Come on. Oops, it says that you cannot cast an object of a number to a string. Why? Because this one cannot make it. Okay, why? Because department record ID is actually a integer. How do I know that? See this department here, right? This one is actually an integer data type field. Okay, so I can't do this. Oh my god, then how am I going to do it? If this one cannot, then is there any other way? Can I dot, then after that can I put to string, right? Can I put to string, right? So just test, just test, right? If cannot means cannot, if can then good, right? So I rebuild, then after that I go and refresh and see how it goes, right? Hey, how come still sales and marketing? Oh, how come still sales and marketing, right? Let me take a look. This is the staff, and this one is 3, right? Is this one 3? Yes, this one is 3. Then how come here is department record ID? So this one, have I rebuilt? Yes, I've rebuilt. Then here it should show me. Why like that? You see, if I actually view source, right, you notice that it is actually working, you know. Notice that it is really selecting what? Research. But somehow or the other, Mozilla Firefox just couldn't care less. It will just show the first one. That's why sometimes you can't also trust the browser. Now if I go to the IE, then or Chrome, it will be correct. You see, I refresh. Correct. Is it correct or not? So in other words, have I successfully called out the get getOneStaffData in order to grab one record, which is Daniel, and then show it inside the the web form. Yes, I've successfully done that. I've really successfully done that, right? Let me come to the IE here. Okay, I've done it, right? It was successful, right? But if I don't change, if I don't do any more changes, it will this web form, you notice that you will notice that it was forever just show Daniel. Why? Because the getOneStaff method inside here is using a fixed SQL. You need to go and make this SQL dynamic, and that is what we are going to focus in the next video segment. But before I end, right, let me just re-emphasize, why do we need the data row? If I don't use data row, our coding is going to be very messy. You see, I will comment out the data row. So right now, data row is no longer needed. So can I use data row here? Cannot. So do you know why I have to? How am I supposed to type this one? Staff data table dot rows. This is what happens, right? Notice that the coding will become lengthier. So just to make this just to prove this one right. So I will just so notice that I'm actually replacing everything. Right, notice that I'm actually trying to go and replace the staff data row, and let me actually try save everything, and let me actually just try to go and rebuild, and let me actually use the IE to refresh. Can it still work? Oops, what happened? An error occurred. Wow, what is this? Parser error. What happened? What did I do wrong? Staff data row is still here, so this one got problems. See that here? So this one also needs to be commented out. Okay, this one needs to be commented out. Alright, okay, now then after that I will just rebuild, and please don't pass the error or else I will cry. Let me take a look. Can, but our code will become longer and longer, which is not good lah. That's why I purposely created a staff data row so that I can try make the code neater, right? Because I know that the staff data table will forever just have one row in our select update record example here. Okay, right? So this is actually the end of this segment, and the next segment we will have to try to do something to make the SQL more dynamic. Cannot be forever staff record ID equals to 1 like that. Forever it is Daniel, which is meaningless. Okay.